Hello and welcome, Clan Gang members, to your first boss combo. So the way this works is that every 4 weeks, we're going to have a boss combo. That's where you'll be testing all of the new skills you've learned, and then in the middle of the combo, you'll have to do a grip switch and do it again on the other side. You can expect these combos to be a lot longer and a lot more difficult because it'll be testing essentially all of the skills that you've picked up in the past 4 weeks of training. There will be 3 boss combos in total across this whole program every 4 weeks in a 12-week program, right? So this will be the first boss to show that you've completed the first level. So let's get started on how to tackle this. The first thing I'll mention is that since you're going to be doing all of the same moves mirrored on both sides with both grips, you don't need to worry about doing the combo a second time, starting with the opposing grip. Really just pick whichever grip you want to start with, make sure you have that grip switch in the middle, and consider this combo defeated once you're able to go through it just once, starting with either side. But that's enough jibba jabba. Let's watch this combo. All right, how's it looking? Feeling confident? Think you'll get it down? Let's go. So you'll notice that I start in a front guard position, but it's very brief. I just slide right on up into the snatch swing to get this combo started. That's good to point out that really the starting position for a combo is open to whatever flair or look that you want to go for. I love people walking into combos, for example, maybe like starting on your shoulder, slamming it down, and then lifting into snatch swing. The way you start is open to creativity, as long as you lock into the actual combo itself and then follow the moveset listed. So, however it is that you want to start it, going up into the snatch swing and coming back down, you're going to land into a lunge guard position. I really emphasized during week 3 using your lunge guard as a way to not only absorb a swing, so as I'm coming down with the snatch swing, using my legs to have some braking power to stop the motion as I'm coming down, and then using the legs to drive up. You can see that as I'm coming up out of the lunge guard, I'm letting the sword tip fall, creating some of that initial speed that feeds into the downswing. So it goes snatch, vroom, pa. I would even say I probably could have done that faster. A little bit of a behind the scenes. This was filmed in the Redwood Forest when I was visiting my brother, and we had basically seconds to get this shot before the sun went below the horizon. So I was getting this in like one take, essentially. So you do that downswing, coming out of the lunge guard, popping right up into a thrust. This is a good example of a stretch reflex. In this moment, I'm feeling the sword and its momentum absorb across my back. I'm keeping my arms straight, so it's all my shoulders and back muscles doing the work. Coming out of the downswing, stretch, and then flex. Just swinging it right back out with momentum, transitioning back into a shoulder guard. Now, check out this transition. Whoop, boom. So, when we come into that shoulder guard out of the thrust, we're going to be popping it off the shoulder to get it up into the air, enough to grip switch and come down for a snatch on the other side. Let's talk a little bit of terminology here. When you see reverse as a footwork in any sort of combined movement, that can mean one of two things. There's reverse stance and there's reverse step. For future knowledge, know that this is what a reverse stance would be, is you're just pivoting on the ground where your feet already are, so that way you can come down into a guard facing the other direction from where you started. A reverse step is you would swing the back foot around to change your direction, but you'll see that in the coming weeks. An important detail on this reverse stance into Skyguard is to make sure you're doing a full 180. If your center line is facing clearly one direction, you want to make sure that when you do the switch, your center line is now at a complete reversal, fully facing the opposite way. Now, I imagine that this transition here will be the combo breaker for most people, but actually what might be the most difficult aspect is the memorization. When I was doing this, I found myself fumbling a couple times just because I was like, wait, what am I supposed to do after that? It's a very long combo, and it's going to be testing your ability to keep track of where you are at any given moment. So we do this reverse stance into a Skyguard with a grip switch. It comes down with a snatch into a lunge guard position. Now, this should be familiar. You just did this on the opposing side. So all of the same ideas apply here. Using the legs to absorb the snatch swing, using the legs to generate momentum for the downswing, coming right up and around, driving into the thrust, shoulder, and sky. One thing I'd like to add actually is you'll notice that when I'm doing this downswing coming out of the lunge on the second side, I actually kind of shift my sword away from me, almost as if I were doing a thrust. Let's see that again. So I'm coming out of the lunge guard, and I'm actually pushing that sword out and away from my body as I'm letting that tip fall. What that does is that as that tip falls, getting to this midpoint position, since it started further away from me, it has more force as it swings into the arc, which then feeds into the up and over of the completed downswing. Kind of cool, right? That as coming out of this lunge guard position, pop it up and away from the body, let the sword move itself essentially all the way to here. Because if you look, it's like, oh, here it is at the top. It wants to swing all the way around. And then I just, boom, pull on the bottom hand, press through the top hand, keep the momentum going right into a completed downswing. Yeah, admittedly, I'm a bit of a nerd about this stuff, so I love talking about those little details. All right, so that is your week 4 boss combo. I hope you're feeling confident going into it. Make sure to be safe, have fun, warm up properly, and yeah, make it look as pretty as you can. I'll say with confidence that if you can do this successfully, you have really accomplished something amazing in these first 4 weeks. This is some difficult training. It takes a lot of time to be able to get it smooth, and if you've made it this far, you should be proud of yourself. Now let's get swinging!